Wake up.
That is the creator, Casey Neistat. He's the one that really fueled the fire to me trying to figure out if there was anything with this YouTube behavior analysis and like, could you communicate our science and tell better stories than what's out there on the internet, or at least as good of stories, but backed by science. And so when I started this channel, I had 4 specific goals. Could I create something Monday through Friday, upload it, and essentially enjoy that process? One of the best places to work in Kentucky. How hard is that to say? I was gonna get there. They just recently won an award where they were one of the best. What would I learn from it? I was really curious on what skill sets I'd be able to develop, and would I be able to continue to upload on that sort of an ambitious schedule.
I didn't know where I was going till I abused it.
I've gotten wicked fast at this editing thing. Then, would it be enjoyable by other behavior analysts? Would you all find it as something that was worthwhile to share? Did it really resonate with our community? And could we impact others out there?
And I've certainly had some very intense times in my life, in my work life, where I've wanted to give up.
Give me a second, I'm trying to select the appropriate weapon. Watch where you stepping, them snakes all around.
Like this. You see? Egypt! And finally, could I sustain this? That is, could I create a community of people that help financially back this so that it would continue on? So after the first year, we are successful. That is, there is a community, there's a home for this, there's a need for it. It doesn't resonate with everybody, but enough that it continues. And what's really cool is this Patreon group. This is how this thing perpetuates and moves forward. There are 131 people that are helping back this. And I really need your help. You see, last year, $19,000 is what it cost to be able to get this YouTube channel running and just working. That is not paying a single ounce of my time. It was over a full-time job, or anybody else that helped assist in that process. So anybody that I interviewed, they weren't paid for their time. Now, there's a little bit of an exchange there, but the point is that it was extremely costly, and we only were able to bring back about half of those costs. So Patreon is really cool. It's set up to where you can have a bunch of different offers, rewards, tiers, to where it's like a values-based model. So if you want to contribute and get your message heard, there's options for that. If you want to contribute and help with the script writing, there's processes for that. If you just want to contribute and get some of the access to the behind the scenes, what's going on, and help me with refining the scripts and like what we're gonna do, there's options for that as well. Now on Patreon, I've had 4 goals. We've met the first. Right now we're really trying to focus on, can we break even on the bare minimum costs that I mentioned to you? For me, if I could filter it down to just one thing that has been most useful out of this community, is that those 131 people, and maybe you as well after this, all have a shared value system, a shared way in which we see the field potentially going. It's not exactly the same, but we all share those same pain points and frustrations and visions of where the field could go. So as you can see, this community is starting to finally take hold, starting to thrive, because we have that kind of critical mass, I think, to where people want to engage, contribute, and push themselves and help the channel grow. So I've compiled a few of my favorite creators to tell you about. 3 of them, David Cutler Music, Diala, Hakeem Karud, are all people that I back because their model allows me to use their music to help this channel. See, a good tune really helps it kind of come together and bring it home. One of them's really cool. It's called Patronizer, and what it does, it sounds a little bad, but what it does is it helps me take the data and the analytics and figure out how I'm doing it and help benchmark myself to people in similar mediums like video, but in different areas. So one of those, for example, is healthcare triage. It's a massive outlet under the Green Brothers on YouTube, if you know them. They're the ones that Crash Course Psychology and just massive channels like that. And I can just see, not that I'm judging myself, comparing them exactly to them, but how am I doing and performing when it comes to building this community? And then the last one, Matt Diavella, which has been a source of inspiration for me lately. He created the film Minimalism. You may have seen it on Netflix, which I look to him for sources of inspiration on how he curates his community, how his processes work as it grows, how does he continue to connect with people. There's this secret podcast that he has that I think is a pretty rad idea that I might try later in this year. But also he works at a whole nother level or tier above me than the production quality and equipment that he has involved. So there's a lot of lessons there on how to do this most efficiently that I've just been loving lately. So if you're interested in this, the link is patreon.com/thedailyba. If you can support, that'd be awesome. If not, don't worry about it. The goal is only if you are able to and it helps keep this thing ad-free and just like, I think, a much better experience and driven by the people in the field like yourself. So that's your daily E.